I'm back with another reading. I'm back with another chapter reading from On Isis and Osiris. You're with the Nasty Pastor. Please go to my YouTube channel, OFM Kemet Edition. Subscribe, like, share, comment. You know what I always ask. Run it up. Run it up. Anyways, we're back into our ancestors, and if you caught the last reading, which will be chapter 35, you know, I was explaining to you some things about Osiris that I came across, and that was the room, you know what I mean, that was made for him. I mean, big sculptures of him, you know, that was submerged in water, you know, and the way that I viewed that, you know, the way that I'm processing it is there's you know, a natural disaster that hasn't been spoke of, you know what I mean. There's a reason why Osiris' legacy was hidden. You understand? Was hidden. It was submerged in water. So when I say to you that this culture I'm in, this culture we're in, you know, there was a time this was outlawed, this was banned, this was never to be talked about. You get me? Because these I guess you call them archaeologists, these treasure hunters, you know what I mean? When they found this, the tomb of King Tut, that was the biggest find they have ever found in Kemet, in Egypt, in Upper Africa. So to own these treasures, you got what I'm saying? It had to be made public. So once that happened and things was made public to the world, it opened the gate for the culture to be talked about, for the culture to be in the limelight, to be illuminated. So I say this to you, you know whom you're praying to, know the culture you're in, get a full understanding of the culture you're in before you regret what you've done to yourself, to your family, to your legacy. You get me? There are some things in certain cultures that you're not going to agree with. You're going to feel that there's an injustice put upon you inside of the culture. You understand what I'm saying? Because see, sometimes we gravitate to culture because of a woman, because of a man, because of the gifts that are promised. You know, I've you know what I mean? I've sat down and I've listened to people, and I'm not going to just say it was women. I've listened to men. You know what I mean? Let me go to this certain church because I heard they help you. You know, the help, honestly, is the word. You feel me? That's the help, honestly speaking. I get the fact you need some food in your house. I get the fact you need a bill paid. I get all that. I get that 100%, but the ultimate greatest help is the scriptures. Is sitting there listening to someone that is a scholar and speaking to you and giving you a understanding of what this scripture is really saying. You understand me? And that's why I'm asking you to, when you're in these Bibles, you're in these scriptures, you know, read the whole chapter. Because see, the preacher, the minister not going to read the whole chapter to you, you know what I mean? They're not. They're just not. You know, I really want to sit down with a minister, and I want to ask the minister, honestly, have you ever read the Holy Bible on your own? Because see, I know it's a proven fact that most of these preachers, you know what I mean, they get an email on Friday or Saturday, and they have a day or two or maybe a week to prepare. They may get it on a Monday or a Tuesday to prepare their sermon for that Sunday. So if you under one charter, but you a branch off that, that specific church, that specific chapter, of that church, you know what I mean, charter of that church, excuse me, I didn't mean to say chapter, charter of that church, of that culture. You have to spread the word the same time. People in the same time, the preacher in Virginia is doing, let's just say Genesis chapter 14 is being done right now in Virginia. It's going to be done right. It's going to be done in Connecticut. It's going to be done in New York. If those churches are of the same chapter, you charter. You got what I'm saying? All right, let's get into this on Isis and Osiris, and this, for the last couple of readings, well, more than a couple. For the last reading so far, they've been very short, you know what I mean, like a paragraph, maybe 2 paragraphs. And I kind of like it because I never want to feed you a lot at one time. I'd rather feed you in small amounts so that you can go research it in a small amount and hopefully you get a big understanding out of it. You know what I mean? Sometimes you give a person too much, they're full, and they think they really reached the main course, but they haven't. You understand what I'm saying? So they shy away from the rest of the meal. No, get the whole meal. You got to get it all. Get it all. So when you speak with understanding, and you speak with the knowledge and the wisdom that is within the culture you're researching. On the 17th day of the month took place, as the Egyptians fabled, the death of Osiris, on which day the full moon being completed becomes most conspicuous, on which account the Pythagoreans called that day Anti-Phraxis, precaution, and generally abominate that particular number of 16 being a square number, and 18 having sides of unequal length, which alone of the integral numbers have the peculiarity of possessing external measurements equal to the areas contained by them. The 17th intruding hedges off as disjoins them from one another and distracts the proportion of 1 to 8, because it is itself cut up into unequal parts. The number of years that some say Osiris lived, others that he reigned, was 8 and 20. 8 and 20. So that's 820 years. For just so many are the lights of the moon, and for so many days doth she revolve about her circle. By the wood they cut down at the so-called burials of Osiris, and construct therewith a crescent-shaped coffer, they signify that the moon, when she approaches the sun, becomes crescent-shaped and hides herself. And the tearing up of Osiris into 14 parts they interpret of the days. Now, if you caught the last reading, you know what I was speaking about. Osiris, body was cut up and was pushed off into the sea. You know what I mean? For some reason, this is what they did to this God. This is what they did to this great man. You got what I'm saying? Until the new moon and the day when she first appears after escaping the brightness of the passing by the sun, they style imperfect good. For Osiris is a doer of good, and his name signifies many things, but especially, as they say, the power that is active and beneficial. And the other name of Osiris, namely Umpis, means, according to Hermias, by interpretation, benefactor. That's the end of that chapter. You know what I mean? It's some other stuff right here that's like is applied to 18 because it may be represented by a parallelogram of which the sides are 6 and 6, 3 and 3. Alternatively, two of these multiplied give the area of the figure, which also is 18. The same comparison of numbers to mathematical figures Plato uses in the beginning of the Theaetetus. I say this, you know, when you look at the number 18, it's 9, and 9 stands for creation. You feel what I'm saying? I hear a lot, you know, from the from the 5%ers about the 18th letter, which is the letter R. You got what I'm saying? So it's a lot that when you're studying other religions, other cultures, other way of lives, that you really have to pay attention to. You know what I mean? I'm a firm believer. There's jewels, there's certain keys in each religion, each culture that unlocks an understanding that we all should have. We shouldn't have never been just contained, just told, you know, just focus on this. I don't need you to go into Islam. I don't need you to go into Christianity. I don't need you to go into Judaism, Buddhism, you know, the Torah. I just need you to stay into the Baptist Bible. You're cutting yourself short of enlightenment, of illumination, of understanding that you should have. You got what I'm saying? And when you really go into these other cultures and really just stick to the scriptures of that culture, of that religion, you will come to find out, like I said, a lot of things are parallel. A lot of things coincide with each other. A lot of things come from the root of whom we pray to, scattered within the 7 major continents of this world from the beginning of time. Anywho, I am the Nasty Pastor. Please go to my YouTube channel, OFM Kemet Edition. Subscribe, like, share, and comment. There's playlists over there for you. You got what I'm saying? You know, click that button. Don't just click the subscribe, the like, and the share. You know what I mean? Go on, click that play button. Get you some education. Get you some understanding. Get you some enlightenment. Help me, help you, help others. That's what I'm here for. I love you, and I'm out.